Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the #1 podcast bringing you behind the scenes with the real online earners. No fake gurus here. And speaking of the real deal entrepreneurs, today's guest is definitely that. I can't talk at this current hour of the day, apparently. But so our guest is Emily. We don't know much about her, but what we do know is she really makes moves online. She actually got referred to us by one of our good friends, Brian Higgins, who has also been on this podcast. He's like, man, you got to interview this girl. She is awesome. And as soon as he said that, like, she was a female, I was like, yes, we need more females on this podcast. It's just been like a sea of dudes. We need to get more women in here. Anyway, enough with that. This is Emily. Welcome to the podcast, Emily.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Anytime. Yes, it's going to be good. Tyler, we got a woman. How do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I know I'm excited. I'm sure Rebecca's excited about it too. Gabe's fiance, she's always telling us we need more women on here. So yes, mission achieved this time.
That girl power, we need it. We got it. Emily's also said that she's got like a whole like crew of like female entrepreneurs that do great. So I was like, yes.
Move I've got my lady gang. I'll introduce you to.
That's definitely a good thing.
The lady crew. That's cool. That's super cool. So I guess like kind of just give us a breakdown of who you are, like a basic breakdown, because like we don't know anything. So this is like all new to us. So this is just as exciting as it is to the listener as it is to us, because you're new.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm an online offer owner in the health and fitness niche. I have a program on Clickbank that's been one of the top 3 offers on Clickbank for about the past year and a half now.
Wow.
So I write sales copy, I produce offers, build funnels, all that fun stuff.
That's awesome.
That's a long time to be top 3 on Clickbank for.
Yeah.
It's been a good run. People keep telling me that that's, that it doesn't last forever. So I'm always watching like, okay, when's that day going to come?
So is it the same offer or is it multiple?
It's the same offer.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Do you have to constantly update that?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. I'm constantly redoing it, constantly rewriting the copy, testing nonstop.
Awesome. So
just to give people a background on Clickbank, it's like it's basically a giant network where you can go and promote different people's products and offers, such as Emily's. And the fact that she's top 3, because there's got to be tens of thousands of different products on there you can promote.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Yeah.
So that's like freaking crazy.
That's really cool. What was I going to say? Oh, it's only digital products too, right? Clickbank?
No, it's digital and physical. So my offer is physical DVDs. There are a lot of people with supplement offers. There are survival offers. And I should clarify, I've been top 3 in the health and fitness niche. Clickbank, probably in the top 10 overall.
Yeah, I was going to say probably the most competitive one.
Yeah.
There are a lot in health and fitness on Clickbank for sure.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about Clickbank. If people are wanting to get into affiliate marketing, Clickbank is I feel like it's the place to be, and they have a great support system there too to help people get going and get started.
What's really cool about Clickbank too is like they will give you the creatives, they'll give you like all the copy, everything to make it work on whatever platform you're trying to use it on. Which is really cool. So it's definitely like an easy entry point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
really as far as your offer, do you run any of your own traffic, or do you rely strictly on affiliates to run the traffic and just focus on the offer itself and make sure that converts?
Yeah, I do not run any of my own traffic. That's something that I would love to learn how to do, but I feel like my hands are so full with keeping the offer up to date. And so I run all through affiliates, especially started with affiliates. And now I work with a lot of agencies too, cold traffic agencies that I pay on a
Oh, nice.
So that's probably now the bulk of my traffic, but I get a lot of affiliate, rev share traffic too.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's
like opposite of what me and Gabe do. We've always been so focused on, I run a lot of email traffic. Gabe runs a lot of Facebook traffic. That's kind of been our thing. So it's always interesting talking to someone a little bit on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, that's an awesome skill that you guys have. Like that's the kind of magic I would love to learn how to do, but I haven't even dipped my toes in.
It's so funny because we talk about owning offers too. We're like, oh man, it'd be so nice not to run traffic and just have people do it for us.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener, right?
Totally. I see you guys, it's like you guys hold all the power and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's some level of truth to that for sure, because without the traffic, it doesn't really make money.
Yeah. Well, I always say, people are like, do you love working for yourself? And I'm like, I don't work for myself. I work for affiliates,
That's so funny. I say that all the time too. Like, I'm like, I have a lot of bosses. It's called my team.
Yeah.
If I don't give them the tools they need to be successful, nobody makes money.
Yeah, for sure.
There's almost more reliability in being like an entrepreneur than there is in a big company, because the system in a big company generally will work without you depending on what level you're at. But as an entrepreneur, if you fail, it fails.
It's brutal too, because my friends and family, when they'll ask me to get lunch on a Thursday and I'm like, no, I'm working, they look at me like, who are you kidding? Like I betrayed them or something by the fact that I cannot take
Yeah, everyone thinks we're wearing pajamas and just like kicking it. I'm wearing pajamas waist down.
Yeah. I wear pajamas, but I work in them too. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is awesome.
That's funny. Actually, I just moved to Denver. I've been Airbnb, and like the hosts I've had here have been so amazing. And every day they ask me, they're like, hey, do you want to go snowboarding today? Do you want to go snowboarding today? I'm like, no, I actually have a company I got to run. And I feel so bad. And I'm like, I need these friends. I'm low on friends right now, but I got to work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. You almost work more, like really, like, yeah, 100%. It's just 100%. So how did you get into this? Like,
you get to break and stuff, but.
Oh, Tyler, you got that gappy Wi-Fi, bro. That's okay though. It's okay. We got you. So how'd you get into this? Because it's, you went after a pretty specific niche. We're not going to say your niche, but I have an idea of your niche. So how did everything get to first on like, let's take this online, whatever it is, or let's build an online product, and then let's go down this route?
Yeah, so I had been for years, worked in health and fitness. I was a personal trainer, a yoga teacher, Pilates instructor. And then about 5 years ago, I opened my own studio, which I loved, and that was incorporating what I've done. And I was also a stay-at-home mom too at the time, so I was kind of doing both.
Yeah.
In 2016, I went through a divorce, and I realized that my studio was great, but I was also still kind of like part-time stay-at-home mom. And after going through the divorce financially, I knew that I was probably going to have to shut down the studio and go get a job, in a cubicle somewhere. Which, you talk about giant fears. Like my biggest fear is having to work for someone else.
Yeah.
So I knew absolutely nothing about online marketing, which I like to say for people who don't know much. If I can do it, anybody can do it, I feel like. But, I knew nothing about it, but I just started studying online marketing, and I decided I wanted to launch a product. At the time, I knew so little about online marketing that I had no idea the kind of scale that was possible online. I thought, I want to have an online offer that brings in like $2,000 a month, just enough to like supplement my studio, and then my focus would be the studio, and I do this online thing kind of on the side. So I launched the online business though, and it just kind of took off like wildfire, much to my shock and awe. And now the studio is no longer.
This was in 2016?
This is in 2016, and I launched the offer the summer of, so it was the end of the year 2016. I started building the offer. I launched it the summer of 2017, and it just overnight.
Wow, so it hasn't even been on that long.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's crazy.
So you hit a home run out of the gates, like.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was the biggest adrenaline rush of my life. I thought I didn't know what, I describe it like being hit by a train in the best way. But it was crazy. It was crazy. It took off. I had no idea.
Wow. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your biggest record day of sales?
Oh gosh. When Facebook was really kicking and not shutting us down like crazy, I'd have about, 1,500 sales a day.
Wow.
With, Facebook ads would easily bring in about 1,000 and then 500 in, affiliate sales and other traffic sources.
Yeah.
So what does that equate to dollars amounts, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, so
Roughly.
So, in this space, obviously we pay out a lot to the affiliates. Most of them run on 90% commission. So I get about 10% on everything. My average order value is around $72. So roughly, about $7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then for me now, my biggest revenue source is the email list that I monetize on the back end. So now I'm at the point where it's kind of flipped, and the sales I'm bringing in are still bringing good revenue, but now the email list is the bigger.
Do you do all email yourself, or do you have a team?
No, I have someone who manages my email list for me, and they take a cut. Yeah. And when I first launched this, I was like, I'm not going to send offers to an email list. That feels kind of, I don't know about that. I'm not going to do it. And then a friend of mine was like, can you put my offer in your autoresponder? And this is when I just started. I maybe had just a few hundred sales that month of coming onto my list. And I put his offer on, and I got a check at the end of the month for like $700. And I was like, what is this? I made $700 for like copying and pasting an email. And so from that, I was like a believer. And now I send offers every day to my email list.
That's so cool.
That's so funny. I love how you went from a goal of 2,000 in sales to doing like tens of thousands of dollars a day in revenue. That's so amazing.
It is. Yeah. It's been crazy. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. So what, to touch back on it a little bit, you were saying that you just started researching online. What did you use for resources in terms of starting that processing and figuring out how to build an offer?
So I didn't know really anybody in the industry. I didn't really know where to turn. So I actually just went on Clickbank, and I found the top 3 health and fitness offers.
Yeah.
And I studied the hell out of them. I watched their VSLs over and over again. I sat and typed out their VSLs and dissected them with like colored highlighters to see how they were structuring everything.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely through, modeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to call it a R&D, rob and duplicate.
Yes.
Obviously not the same, but honestly, that's such a great way to do things, is figure out what works for others and then build off that as a framework.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I made the mistake in the beginning of I was like, I'm going to make this my way, and I'm going to do this in a way that I think will really resonate with people. And I spent like a month straight, 8 hours a day in the library every day writing this long VSL that turned out to be like crap, and I basically had to throw it away. And that's when I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I'll try the way I see other people.
Yeah. That's so cool,
man. That's smart though. And that is the best way to go about things, is just figure out what's working and kind of reverse engineer it and pivot it into whatever it is that you're selling or doing.
Yeah. And that's a mistake I see a lot of people making too, is they come in and they want to do it like I did, but I think you kind of have to learn what works first. And, maybe about a year into it, then I started branching off and doing kind of trying things on my own. And, and that's fine. But I had the foundation now, at least with copying and funnels and all of that. So I can do that a bit more.
Everyone thinks they're right until they're wrong, right?
Yeah.
How'd you even know to go to Clickbank of all places?
So
because I feel like that's not common knowledge.
Totally. Yeah. I'd never heard of Clickbank before. I had a friend who was on Clickbank, and he told me about them and introduced me to them. So I kind of got an in. I was able to get a growth manager with them, which helped hugely too, because she was able to walk me through how to, I was so computer stupid. I didn't know how to even set up on their dashboard or their platform. So
that's cool.
I'm the same though. I have no, half the time when I get into stuff, I have no idea. And I just research the crap out of it until I break it 5 times and then figure it out.
Is that how you figured out Facebook ads?
I think it was a lot more than 5 times. I'm still learning to this day.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a rookie every day when I come into it. I'd be like, oh, what was working yesterday isn't working anymore. So yes,
it's a moving target, right?
Oh, totally. It's funny. I was having a conversation with one of my good friends the other day, and I was like, I wonder if I spent this amount of time on a bricks and mortar business, if I would be way more successful than I am right now. Who knows? But it's just, yeah, it's always evolving, always changing. And I kind of like it because it's every time that you figure it out again, it's like a mini win. You're just like, yeah, take that, Facebook.
That's right. And then you think you've got it, and then they come in, they're like,
yeah. I'm an emotional mess. I'm a roller coaster. One day I'm happy. The next day I'm like, oh no, my world's coming to an end. But like that's online marketers, like that's,
totally.
that's standard.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So when it comes to owning your own offer and stuff, what do you think are some of the like key important pieces of the whole thing? Because obviously from the traffic guy's point of view, we don't worry about merchant accounts, we don't worry about all that stuff. But that's a lot more involved when you own your own offer.
Yeah. Well, as far as merchant accounts go, and big thing, especially with these online offers, especially the digital ones, can be refund rates and chargebacks. That can be a hassle. One of the biggest things that I see sinking people is when they create an offer or the program that's inconsistent with their marketing. So people get really sucked in by marketing that sounds so enticing, and then the product can't stand up to the marketing. That's a big problem. And that's part of the reason why I went to manufacturing DVDs. I started out as a digital only offer. But my customer base is typically 50 plus. And I was getting emails like crazy from people saying, we want DVDs. So I went into, fulfillment with that, and that's dropped the refund rate significantly. But
do you think that your customer feels like they get more value because they have something they can hold, especially at that age group?
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is I'll have people writing in saying, so mine are exercise videos, what they buy from exercise videos, and they'll write in and they'll say, I would send them the link to the videos to watch, and they'd say, well, I can't watch these videos on my computer, when all of my customers come to me because they've watched an hour-long VSL to buy my
That's a valid point.
You're like, you just watched an hour-long commercial for my program. But yeah, they do. They like having the DVD. They like having that physical that they feel like they can keep, and they're not going to lose the way they'll lose a link.
Interesting. Have you ever thought about doing infomercials on TV?
It's funny. I have a friend who does some stuff with QVC, and that's a world I know absolutely nothing about, but I'd be interested to dive into it. It's just.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that demo, if they're complaining about computer stuff, I feel like they are glued to that TV.
That's true. That's a good point. I'm going to give you a second tier commission on that.
Commission?
Yes. I just want to meet you one day and you just hand me a check and be like, you were right.
If you can now make that intro with me and the TV infomercials.
You know what's funny? I think we know someone who is like a killer at infomercials.
No way.
Yeah.
We do, don't we, Tyler?
We definitely do. We had a friend that did, I think his infomercial did 500 million.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
On a digital product too, wasn't it?
No, he had a book.
Oh, okay.
An infomercial for a book, though? That's...
Yeah. His Backend was insane.
Wow.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
He actually has his TV studio and everything, but that's super interesting. As far as like fulfillment and stuff like that, do you just outsource that to a third-party company? You're not packing DVDs yourself, right?
No, yeah, I outsource it.
Did you ever try to do it yourself?
No.
Okay, good. Just check it.
I tried to.
She's smarter than us.
Yes, it appears so. She's just got into internet marketing like a few years ago, and she's already like surpassed what we're doing.
No. I tried for the first month to do my own customer service, and I was like, again, kind of like with the email, I was like, this is going to be really important to me. I'm going to answer all those emails myself, and then after the first month, I literally couldn't keep up with them. So no, yeah.
Yes.
Pardon?
I
was gonna say, was it the sheer quantity of emails that came in, or was it just like the questions that came in?
It was mostly the quantity. Although for me, like, since this is something that I've created, it's like this program is my baby. It's something I created. It was really hard when people would write in and ask for a refund. Like I took it so hard every time. Like just for my heart, I just couldn't. I had to stop doing that.
I tried to do so we started a drop shipping store a couple years ago, Shopify. And I was like, oh yeah, I can handle customer support. Yeah, that lasted like a month before I was like, I'm going to kill all these people. I don't like them. Like, they're just so angry, and I just want to tell them they're idiots. So yeah, I got moved off that real quick.
Well, and talk about the roller coaster. It's like people either write in because they're so happy and you've changed their life, or they're like so mad, you know, and I'd be like, why are they so mad? Like, I'll give you a refund.
We're just trying to help you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Wow, that's crazy. So do you have any plans to make any more offers?
Yeah, eventually. But one of the things that I feel so lucky that my first offer took off so quickly. Like, I see people who've worked for years to get their offer to take off. So I don't want to be stupid about it. And like, I feel like I don't want to take my eye off of what's working in the pursuit of something that isn't, because I see a lot of people who do that. They launch an offer, it takes off, and they're like, oh, I'm going to replicate this. And they spend a lot of time making new ones. And then their current one just starts to fatigue and starts to go downhill. So I kind of made myself a promise that as long as this one's really, really working, I'm going to try to keep most of my focus on that. Like, I'm writing a new VSL right now for 2019. I'm going to try to beat the last version. I'm just kind of trying to keep this one going as strong as possible. But eventually.
So like the life cycle of an offer, and I'm trying to think about it for myself here, is so what would make your offer get to that next level? Is it just a new VSL, or is it just new upsells or additional products that you can sell with that?
Yeah, as far as the offer going, it's really, as much as I can increase conversions, increase order value, it comes down to getting it so that I can just keep paying out more and more to the affiliates and advertisers. So yeah, boosting the upsell funnel means I can pay them more. You know, doing a new VSL and hopefully increasing conversions means they have to pay less in ad spend to make a sale. So yeah, it's really just keeping it working for the affiliates and the advertisers and making it more profitable for them.
Interesting. That's cool. That's super cool. It's like a whole new world. I just have like all the questions because we've never done offers like that.
I can understand too how like your offer keeps performing because you're so dedicated to like, you know, pushing the average order value up and bringing the cost for CPA, like what cost affiliate down. Like, I find a lot of advertisers in general, they just put up a page and they don't really do any optimization. I think Clickbank, like the advertisers there are better about it. But I know in our CPA world, you could take like 10 diet offers and it's literally the same page with different branding 10 times. And no one does any split testing.
Wow. Wow. I like live and die for split testing.
Yeah, right?
Although it's funny because like about a year in, I was like, I stopped having winning split tests. Everything I'm testing now or recently has just been losing the split tests. So I'm like, have I run out of, ways to keep improving it? And
maybe just the first one was so good. You just like really nailed it.
Well, I feel like I tested everything and got it all where it needed to be. And now I'm like, yeah, now I got to get creative and think of something else. But a lot of people say, and I do believe this is true about split testing, is that I'll split test and it used to be I'd split test and I'd have a big win, something that's way out converting the original. It didn't necessarily grow my offer into more sales. It's more just kept it going. It's like you have to split test just to keep it afloat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting. That makes sense though. I never thought of that before.
Yeah. It's not just going up and up and up. It's just kind of preventing that fatigue from happening and just keeping it.
Because you're keeping it fresh. What would you say is like when you've gone, adding upsells or optimizing your page for conversion, what overall do you think is giving you the best bang for buck?
Okay, so some of the best split tests. One thing that was huge for me, initially my front end product was performing well, but my upsells weren't converting that great. I added video to my upsells and that massively, I got more than 100% conversion increase when I added videos. But my customers come to the upsell funnel from a video. So if they're coming from a long form sales page, that might not work the same, but I basically am keeping them on that same track. So that was big. One of the big things is I used to have my sales, I have the timed elements on the screen. So they watch the video first before they're given the option to buy. I initially had the buy button popping after like 10 minutes, and I moved
Oh,
it to 35 minutes and saw like a 50% increase in sales.
wow, really? That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, it's totally counterintuitive, but
How'd you pick 35 minutes?
it really just kind of went with the sales copy. That's
Gotcha.
kind of how long it took me. It wasn't just an arbitrary number. That's like how long it took me to really tell the story, tell all the hooks, and then get to the product. So yeah. But I do see a lot of VSLs where those buttons pop anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I can tell you're such like a student of the craft too, because you always relate to like, oh, I know what other people do this. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of VSLs. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Any VSLs you recommend people watch to kind of get good ideas or good people to model?
Oh gosh. I do think I've seen a lot of changes in the past year and a half since I've been doing it. So the ones that I initially studied, I would say now I would go on Clickbank like I did. You can go to the Clickbank marketplace and you can see which ones are ranked highest in your, in your niche. And I would go with what's ranked highest at the time, because the ones that I studied back 2 years ago are now, they've kind of fatigued. They've had their moment. A lot of big changes the past year and a half. When I first launched, everything was slideshow VSLs, just slideshow with a voiceover in the background. And now, about a year ago, I switched to being on camera with a lot of music and a lot of stock video and, graphic text on the page. It's like the production value has gone up a lot, and where I'm seeing the slideshow ones just don't seem to be working anymore. And that happened very quickly.
Interesting.
So I would just study whatever's top right now.
Gotcha. And would you just sort by like gravity score?
Oh, gosh, now I'm trying to think of how. I don't think I ever necessarily sort it. Like I'll go and I'll click on, health and fitness, and I'm thinking of how I don't pay attention to how I sort it. I just see it how it.
Does it auto sort so like the best is on the front page?
Yes, and it's actually based on, you can sort based on gravity, but a lot of times, so gravity, from what I understand, means the amount of affiliates who are promoting a product. So my gravity is fairly low because I tend to keep my affiliate, I have fewer affiliates who run much higher volume because I like to partner with people that way and really work with them.
Nice.
So, but I think if you just do the general settings, it's based on how much revenue is generated. Well, it's an algorithm, but how much revenue, how many affiliates, and all that.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, that's like yeah, go for it. Hit it.
I was gonna say, so you said before you started with a lot of affiliates and now you're moving more towards agencies?
Yes, that's just kind of been the progression. I mean, I still have the same amount of affiliates, but the agencies are the ones who have been able to scale and send more consistent traffic. And some of them, I mean, I do have some affiliates who are on CPA too, who aren't with an agency, but they're doing CPA instead of rev share now. It seems like people who send heavier volume now, or the media buyers want CPA, whereas the people who run email traffic for me are doing rev share.
Gotcha.
So do you pay like the agent, and like, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but are you like actually like hiring an agency, paying them a flat fee, or are you just doing it based on commission?
Just purely, just cost per acquisition. Okay. So I don't pay anyone a flat fee.
Gotcha.
Although I have, I think one of the things that has helped me is if someone tests for me and it doesn't do well, I usually I will offer and I'll say, how much did you go in the hole? I'll pay you that. Yeah. And then I'll come back in a month or two when I've changed things and will you test again. And that has been huge for me. It's been a cost on the front end, but then I preserve that relationship and then they test again. And then usually we're able to get it to go.
Interesting. Do you run a lot of, is a lot of it Facebook traffic? Because I know you said that you had troubles on Facebook before. Are you still running a lot on Facebook also now?
Yeah, still running on Facebook, but not nearly at the volume that we were this time last year. So it's a mix of Facebook, Google, Bing, a lot of native ads. and then email traffic. Yeah.
Interesting.
I really like your approach about working with people. It's so funny. Me and Gabe are kind of in a situation now where we've been sending a lot of traffic to this one offer between Gabe and Ryan. What do you think, Gabe? About 35 grand a day?
Yeah, I think just alone I'm doing like 15 to 17,000 a day on it.
Yeah, so pretty good size volume, and like anything we've asked for, anything they've offered us, now we're like, okay, we've met the metrics. Like, can we get that? It's always been a bit of a hassle, as opposed to where you kind of come around and you're like, hey, what can I do to support you? And we're like, those are the type of relationships we want, because those are the type of relationships we can grow and scale with when people are working together. Not like, oh, I'm not sure, but maybe if you can do this for me. It's like, it's two different approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That was a learning curve for me in the beginning, because I started out, I was very much like thinking about the revenue that I was going to make on the front end sales of my product. And so I started out, people said, oh, you should pay 75% commission. I was like, oh, 75%, but then I did it. And then I heard a few months later, someone pulled me aside and said, people are saying you're greedy because you're not paying 90%. And then I was like mortified, people as being greedy. So then I like sent these emails out to all my affiliates. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the standard was 90%. I'm bumping you up now. Like, it was like, I don't like ate some crow there and bumped everyone up to 90%. And so that, but you just learn as you go. You want to be generous. And then if you have your back end revenue kicking, then you don't have to be so stingy with what you pay and get
for sure.
I didn't even know that it was 90% myself. I've never really looked into it though, but Tyler, did you know that?
Yeah, I knew Clickbank. I think there's some people that even pay 100% of the upfront and then 50% of the upsell.
I think when we worked with Todd, he was giving us that for a little bit.
Something like that. There's another guy in the dating vertical for women that was doing something similar.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And actually, it's pretty standard to pay full on front end and upsell.
Oh, wow.
I pay full 90 across the board.
Interesting. So you make a majority of your revenue comes from the email then?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you guys do any other retargeting like SMS or like push or anything like that on the back end?
I have heard that is like the way to start going. I do not have any phone numbers of any of my customers with my Clickbank order form.
I highly suggest you do it. So and Tyler can give you more of a breakdown because he's a pro. He's been actually like taking companies and adding SMS backends and follow-ups and like making like bank off it. Like they're just like, how did you do this?
I hear it's out converting email like gangbusters. Is that true?
400%.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm missing the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. We did it on our, pardon, Tyler?
I was going to say, you got to get Clickbank to make the modification so you can collect that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or take it off Clickbank. And have it running on two different things. I think like Clickbank's good, but I feel there is limitations to it, isn't there?
Yeah. There are some limitations. That's one thing this year they're really vamping up. They have a new CEO and they're putting a ton into kind of optimizing their stuff too. I hate to say it. I've kept everything on there because it's just so easy and like again, just another thing to make time to
I guess because like then you have to add in more payment processors and then you have to rebuild your funnel out and everything like that. Like I get it. It's a lot of work, especially with something that's working. It's hard to pivot away from that.
Yeah. I know the benefits of it though. That's
Yeah, chat with Tyler after about it because he's got some great insight on back end stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Share some ideas with you for sure.
Yes. I like it.
I need to start a podcast and have you on my podcast.
Not only is this educational, it makes people money too. It's a great podcast. Bringing people together, people helping people.
Well, when I move to Denver, we'll just hang out all the time. Make some.
Yes.
We could be next door neighbors.
Hey. Who don't get to snowboard during the day.
No. Yeah. Weekends though, right?
Weekends I'm down.
Yeah.
Night skiing also. I love night skiing. Have you guys been night skiing?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's the best. It's the best.
I just hate the ice.
I mean, in Vancouver, it's not really icy though. It's not that cold,
Oh,
you know?
I thought Grouse Mountain always got icy, but
Yeah, fair. I've never ridden grouse. I only go to like Seymour and stuff, but like, yeah, big fan. It's like, it's nice. It's chill. It's
no
calming.
doubt.
Yes. I like it.
What
Yeah, go for it.
you
I feel
what
like you're
what
I feel
kind of
like you're on
strategies
a
do you have?
delay right now.
Because of my Wi-Fi situation.
Yeah. So just an FYI, Tyler's in Airbnb right now, and his Wi-Fi is not so hot. So it's a little delayed, guys, but
So Tyler, those are not Tyler's framed flowers on the background behind him.
No. I actually I think I own one piece of art and I've never hung it ever.
and someone else bought it for him.
So,
What were you gonna say, Tyler?
I was going to say, as far as trends you're seeing in the marketplace as a whole right now that people should kind of keep an eye on if they're looking to get online, would you have any recommendations for people?
Well, one thing that's been working with me, and again, to come back to Facebook, because that's really for me where I've seen my biggest scale. About a while ago, I revamped my funnel for Facebook to try to make it a bit more e-commy and less, because basically they shut down my VSL. I cannot, nobody can run my VSL on Facebook anymore. And they're shutting down VSLs across the board. So I created what I think of as kind of like a hybrid. It has a 5 or 6 minute video at the top, followed by long form underneath, but there's no timed elements. It's all very straightforward. And thankfully that has been continued to allow to run on Facebook. And the biggest shock that I had is that it's actually out converting the VSL. I thought by making the marketing less aggressive, my conversions were going to go down, but surprisingly that's gone up. So I see that as a trend. People who can do more of an e-com style site and landing page, which Facebook still seems to kind of love, but figure out how to have some elements of long form or persuasive copy that will get them to convert as well. I see that as hopefully a trend that'll continue with Facebook.
Cool.
That's really smart, actually.
Yeah. So I think the value in this conversation, there's lots of value, but I think what is really valuable is there's a lot of people out there that are experts in certain fields, and they don't know how to take it to the next level, which for me, I think is digital or online, because the audience is huge, right? Yeah. So what would you say to someone who's like an expert that is really looking to take things to the next level? And how I'm trying to reword this because you kind of told people how you went about it in terms of research and stuff, but I want to know if you have any advice to those people to take their stuff online. And I know that was a very long-winded way to go about it, but yes.
No, I love talking about this because I obviously that was my transition. I went from solely working in health and fitness to now all online. But I think one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give people is to actually step away from your expertise or your program and detach yourself a little bit from that. Focus solely on the marketing and study that marketing, and then let that shape the program you plan to sell online. Because so many people come in with these programs that are so near and dear to their heart, and they've spent years developing them, which there's so much value in that, but you have to sell it in a way that people are going to consume it. So people come in so attached to even little things like the price point, like, oh, well, this program is worth this much, but you got to separate yourself from that and charge what people will pay for it instead, or this is how the program will help people. Well, let's say someone comes in and says, I'm going to sell someone my 100 steps that you can take to be healthier in 2019. Nobody wants to buy 100 steps to get healthier in 2019. Maybe that they need to take 100 steps to do that, but you need to revamp for what people are going to buy and what's going to really convert with the marketing. Just be open to changing the program to fit what the customers are going to want.
That's cool.
That's so smart because it's customer centric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you focus on pain points? in your sales? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That was actually a big part of how I developed it. So my program is to help relieve pain.
Yeah.
It's exercises to relieve pain, which is something that I have done. I've worked with people to help them with chronic pain for years.
Mm-hmm.
But when I initially was going to launch online, I thought, I'm going to launch just a fitness program to help people get in shape and feel better about their bodies and their lives. But then as I started studying copywriting, I realized that you really do have to dig into the pain points. And for me, I couldn't bring myself to dig into the pain points of like making people feel bad about themselves for being overweight. Like that I just couldn't bring myself to do that. So then I actually changed my product to be a pain relief product because I don't feel bad talking about people being in physical pain. That's not a judgment on them.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of how I used the marketing to form my product rather than the product first.
Interesting.
That's so smart.
Yeah. It's genius, really. Well, I mean,
Gabe, see, I told you she was smarter than both of us.
I think I told you that first. I was like, I don't know this woman, but she sounds very smart. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, Tyler. I'm lost.
Is my Wi-Fi kicking a bit better now?
I don't know. It's still subpar at best, but I don't know. I'm just I'm thinking about all the ideas here because I'm just like, oh man, I want to launch an offer now.
You want to do an offer now, don't you?
Yeah, and also
we can do it. See, anyone can do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about any high ticket back-end program at all? Are you in that space?
So high ticket backend, I haven't done, mostly because in order to charge really high ticket, I feel like I'd need to be involved, live with it, like live coaching or things like that. And I haven't wanted to commit to that. I feel like I'm so busy with everything else that I haven't felt secure enough to know that I could follow through with that. But I do have a back-end membership program that's, $29 a month for, monthly. They get monthly recurring with that.
So no live coaching or anything like that?
I love to know.
Tyler, it's done. I think
probably the most important thing he said the whole time.
Totally. It's just me and you now. It's just me and you. Have you ever thought about going that way and having I guess for you it's a little bit different. I was going to say an online sort of mastermind group or an online one-on-one coaching, and maybe not in person, just over the phone or over the internet.
Yes, someday I would, because it's funny. My passion now, I love marketing more than just about anything now, and so my goal now is to kind of keep this offer going as long and strong as I can. But then eventually I would like to branch off into working more to help I've already started consulting a bit with people on their marketing and their sales funnels and their copy. I would really love to do that. Also possibly in other industries. I'm speaking at some conferences this year where they're not exactly digital marketing focused, but to kind of help and teach them how to do it. So I could see maybe developing a program off of that, or perhaps helping influencers learn how to monetize their following and how to.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, we're just kind of digging into the influencer space. We're trying to learn about it, and it's a different beast, that's for sure.
Well, one thing I can say, we talk about trends, is so I was not an influencer at all when I launched this offer. I had no online presence, but I started hearing that people with large followings on Facebook get lower ad costs, and Facebook is also more likely to not shut down their ads.
Yeah.
So I started trying to grow a following, and for me, it was easy because I already had the email list. So every time I email my list with content, I send a link in that email that they click on that takes them over to Facebook to actually watch the video that I'm sending them.
Smart.
Yeah. So I was able to kind of grow without paying anything. I was able to grow fairly, about 45,000 following on Facebook, not massive, but better than where I was at. And that really has helped the ad costs, and the engagement on the post seems to really be helping as well. So
that's
really
interesting. Cool. Do you think that helps your conversion rate because they can see the person behind the emails?
So the people who are on my email list have already bought from me, but I think it helps the conversion rate from my Facebook ads, because I'll post a Facebook Live video where I'm demonstrating an exercise, and then I go into selling on the video to my program. And I think it does help because there are a lot of comments from my existing customers saying, this program has helped me so much. This is the best thing ever.
Oh, wow.
It's like
smart.
testimonials on the app.
Yes, that's
genius.
Yeah.
Are you going to go over to Instagram too, or are you just going to keep it on Facebook?
I don't know. I know I should. It's just one more thing that I haven't added on. And my demographic is a little older, so I think that's why I haven't chased Instagram yet. But
you know what we're noticing about Instagram though is that, and this is my assumption of why it's happening, but I think that like the younger generation is posting pictures of their children or whatever, or their lives on Instagram. So that brings the parents over to be like, oh, I want to see what you're doing. Like even my mom is on Instagram, and I would never expect that in my life. Right. Yeah. And she's mid 60s. So it's definitely getting older for sure.
Yeah, I gotta get that going. I just well, that's good to know that you're seeing that there.
Yeah. And that's something that we're actually trying to pursue right now, is growing our Instagram. And it's a bitch.
Well, and it's not fruitful right away either. Like it takes some time to kind of like.
Yeah.
What about YouTube? You guys obviously do a lot on YouTube. Has that been a good stream for you guys?
It's new. It's definitely new. So we decided probably, Tyler, do you think it was like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, that we were going to move everything. So it's both on a podcast, and there's going to be the video side of it.
Probably something like that.
Yeah, probably 6 months. And we started a couple other series on there. And now we've just decided that we're going to pivot and do as much as we can for YouTube, like at least 2 pieces of content or 3 pieces of content a week on there.
Whoa.
Just from like it's just such a huge audience that we don't want to miss out on. Like so we love the podcast and we love our podcast people, but it's a niche audience. Like not everyone's going to listen to it on iTunes or Spotify. So yeah, we're going to move it over to YouTube also, just to kind of expand the audience and make sure that everyone sees what we have to say, because it's fantastic stuff and very helpful.
That's awesome. Do you have a list for 7-Figure Entrepreneur too, an email list?
We do, actually. We do.
Okay. Do you send people to, this is one thing that I did, was kind of like with the Facebook following, but when I email the list, sometimes I'll send them a link to a YouTube video instead. And I've just noticed it gets it to rank so much higher by getting almost like that thing from your list over to the.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I kind of slack on emails. I do them. I try to do them every time we release something, and I usually do. And what I've been doing is including like all of our social links, or not all, but like our Instagram in the footer, and then also like I give people the option to watch or listen, either watch it on YouTube or listen to it and that just goes directly to the site, and they can download it.
Nice. Yeah, that's a lot what I'm seeing people do, and what I'm wanting to do more is bringing them from one place and using it to feed the other. Like, a lot of people who are now getting, they'll put in a physical product on Amazon, then send a link to it to their list, and then suddenly get it as a top seller on Amazon too. Just always bump up all those other.
Yeah, the value's in the list.
Are you gonna do something with Amazon pretty soon in your program?
It's on the to-do list. I would like to. Yeah, I would like to. I started talking to a few people. I need to outsource again the manufacturer on that. Need to figure out something that I think my audience would buy. But
yeah.
Could you take the existing content just as a DVD pack and put it on there?
Yes. So that's one of the things that I need to get up ASAP, because a lot of people, unfortunately, now have started ripping off my offer and listing it on Amazon. They'll list like the PDF of my program has, it's mostly videos, but there's like a little PDF that goes along with it. And they're listing the PDF and selling it on Amazon under, my name. And then customers are writing in because they're mad. They're like, what is this? It's just a PDF. This program's horrible. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the program. Yeah. So yeah, I need to get it on Amazon for sure. I've heard that from other people I've talked to, I've heard that getting it on Amazon might bring in about 10% more sales.
Interesting.
I've definitely heard. Yeah, I've definitely heard like a lot of people, their like default instinct is to like go to Amazon and see if it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Gabe, but Michael Lahat, he has this product. He said Amazon reached out to him when I think they had like 1 million searches for his product or 100,000 in a month.
Wow.
Something crazy. And then they reached out to him. Yeah, but it was like, and all he was doing was driving traffic from Facebook to a Shopify store. But it's just that much volume. People were going to Amazon and looking for it. And then I know another company in the weight loss vertical, they would make like, an extra 30, 40 grand a month just listing their product on Amazon by brand. No special ranking or anything, just a function of being on there as well. So it's added revenue for sure.
Yeah, we're getting on that in January.
Nice.
Nice.
I feel
that's
like
prime time.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like things took off so fast with this so unexpectedly that the first year was just kind of sprinting to keep up. And now I'm finally at the place where I'm like, okay, now I can do these other things and put these other things.
Do you have a team, or are you just a one girl show?
The first year as a one-woman show, and now I've got an affiliate manager, and I have an admin, a woman who does admin for me for like 10 hours a week. And then I've got an IT guy who's pretty much full-time with me.
Nice.
That's cool. That's pretty impressive for like such a small team.
Yeah. What about customer service?
Oh, and then customer service.
Yes.
Yeah. I have three people answering customer service emails, and then a customer service manager too.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
That's really cool.
I love that about the internet. You can have such a lean, mean team and do so much volume.
Yeah.
True. It's so true. I mean, it's so different for me from the studio where it's like impossible to scale and you have to be there all the time for everything.
Yeah.
Do you miss that life?
So I still teach over there once or twice a week just to stay connected with human beings.
Fair. Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. So I do and I don't. I've so fallen in love with this world now that that the studio's taken the back burner, but I still love it.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
That's super cool. Man, I don't really have any other questions. Like, I'm just like, my mind's just going over here. Tyler, how are you doing? I can't tell if you're just like really intrigued or if your Wi-Fi is like paused.
It's a mix of both. Super cool to see what you've built and like just to learn, an aspect that we don't know because we're all traffic and we are always curious about like, what differentiates a good offer owner as opposed to like so many, again, like what I saw in the CPA space, there's so many that don't even test their landing pages. They literally put one up that they probably ripped from a duplicate offer and they just run that. And then the other thing I noticed in the CPA space, which is different than yours, is a lot of them have no back end whatsoever. Like they have never even mailed their email list once.
Yeah.
Which is like a complete missed opportunity.
It's huge. I meet so many people who are not emailing their list, and it's huge. I say, you don't want free money? Like what? I mean, that's what allows me to pay so high to my advertisers to get my content out there. I couldn't do that if I wasn't. What do you look for when you're looking at, offer owners? What do you look for in an offer to want to run it and test it?
We have like so much consistent traffic that we just rotate new offers in and play our winners.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's kind of our approach right now because say we're promoting a school, well, all the schools pretty much have the same copy. So we'll just rotate a few, see what works best, and then just keep on pushing that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. So a little bit different, but it's interesting.
Do you feel like it's a big risk for you when you start testing out offers and rotating them in, or are you just kind of used to that? Like, you're going to lose on some and then.
It definitely is. We've kind of broken up our business in a way that like, we kind of tiered our offers like tier 1, 2, 3, and like it's based on performance. So tier 1 offers, our highest performing offers, they'll see our primetime spots, 70, sometimes 80% of our traffic. And then like the lesser spots, like Fridays and weekends for our market, we know is a bit slower. So that's when we'll test some new offers. We'll rotate them. And if they do really well, we'll put them in a tier 1. If they don't do well, we'll kind of optimize the copy, see if we can get better. And if they suck, we just don't test them again. But that's kind of how we operate, is we try to keep the prime time spots open where we're going to make the best bang for buck.
Mm-hmm. Just to clarify, he's talking to people who are listening and watching. He's talking about email, not Facebook advertising.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So do you test to just a small segment of is it your list that you're testing to, or do you do?
So we have we have lists we've generated, and then we have a bunch of lists that we like manage as well. So we do both.
Oh, cool.
And our bread and butter is really like the education market.
Interesting.
Yeah, we put a lot of focus there, and it's been beneficial because we get like a lot of the cap that other people don't get. So it makes it kind of hard for other people to compete with us because, for a specific school that pays really high, we're getting their entire budget for the month. So we fill that, and it just gives us a competitive edge.
Okay. I have someone I'm going to introduce you to after this who has a
awesome,
crazy, amazing converting education offer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why we do these podcasts, because there's just so many like great ideas that get switched around and introductions, and it's just fantastic.
It's amazing who you don't know as well.
Yeah. I feel like this industry is never ending, and I feel like there's like a big crew of people that are well known, and there's like some behind the scenes dudes that just like crush you. You're like, where did this guy come from, or this girl come from?
Yeah, totally out of nowhere.
Like today.
I've got an affiliate who lives in a little town. He's like, he sends me crazy sales. Like every once in a while, he'll just like blow it up for me, And he always says, just don't tell anyone about me. Don't tell anyone my name. If people ask who's bringing you that volume, I'm like, okay.
That's so interesting that people want to be so like behind the scenes about it. Interesting.
Yeah, some do, and then some love being all.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Well, I think like for me, that's all I got. Like you have answered all of our questions, more so. And it's been great to meet you. It's been great to chat with you.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll meet you in person.
Yeah. Are you going do you go to any affiliate events?
I go to TNC.
Yes. We will probably be there.
Okay.
High probability. We go every year.
Okay.
We're also going to ASW.
Oh, okay. I won't be at that one this year, but I have that.
Yeah. You know Todd, right?
Todd Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good buddy of ours, and he's going to be in Vegas with us too. So.
Oh, he's the one who introduced me to Brian.
Yes.
Me to you guys. Yeah. Todd and I were we were in Cancun at the Clickbank Platinum event, and then in Cabo at another mastermind, and he's awesome.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah.
He is a riot
such a tough life you guys
have a beer with too. He is a hilarious man.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Cool. All right. Tyler, you want to wrap it up?
I do not want to wrap it up because my Wi-Fi.
It's funny when you talk about your Wi-Fi and you gap out.
Yeah.
What did you say, buddy?
Can you wrap it up?
Yeah, I can wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up.
We can wrap it up together. It could be like a big group wrap up. So I think I got to think about this one, because Tyler had he was like gonna like wrap it up and he had like this full plan on the wrap up. So now I got to bring that wrap up game, Damn. All right. If you like what you heard, subscribe to us on YouTube, give us a like on the video, like us on iTunes. And also, if you don't want to miss out on any of our great content, and we're going to be releasing a lot more besides just podcasts, sign up to our email list, and you can find that on sevenfigureentp.com. And that's it, guys. Thank you. This is episode 32, 30. That's a good number. It's a good number. So thank you again so much for being on, and it was great chatting with you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Awesome.